Welcome back to The Explainer. So, after years of massive global excitement and following this incredible journey all the way from season 1, we are finally staring down the barrel of Stranger Things season 5. It's literally one of the most anticipated TV events in Netflix history, right? And today, we're diving into a mind bending theory about Vecna's true endgame that turns everything we think we know completely upside down. We all have these assumptions about how the Duffer Brothers are going to wrap this up, mostly expecting fire and brimstone. But what if those assumptions are playing right into the villain's hands? Let's get right to it.
We gotta ask this right out of the gate. What if the final battle is actually a trap? I mean, expecting a traditional, straightforward showdown kind of ignores a fundamental rule of this universe. Think about it. Vecna has always been the spider waiting in his web, manipulating minds before he ever snaps a single bone. We're totally conditioned by blockbuster endings to expect this giant showdown in Hawkins. But looking at the mechanics of the world we're dealing with, a quiet, simple trap might just be the most devastating weapon of all.
To understand this, we have to remember the core foundation of the whole mystery of the Upside Down. It isn't just some physical, alternate space full of floating spores and demogorgons. It's a dimension built fundamentally on human memory and emotion. It actually reacts to the mind. We saw this exact thing when it was mysteriously frozen on the exact day Will Byers went missing. It's literally molded by trauma and thought. Keep that mind link firmly in your head because it answers some major questions as we look at the next piece of the puzzle.
Section 1. The Reality Distortion Theory.
If you look at all the fan theories and viral discussions online, we're all pretty much expecting a massive physical monster brawl, right? Fire, explosions, Eleven using her superpowered telekinesis to throw monsters across ruined shopping malls, all that classic 1980s action. But what if, instead of a giant fistfight, Vecna replaces the town with a localized, mind-controlled utopia? He's not trying to physically destroy them in a brawl where he knows they fight the hardest. No, he's changing the battlefield entirely. It's an elegant and honestly a terrifyingly quiet approach to domination. Just imagine waking up in a perfectly peaceful, beautifully restored Hawkins. None of the horrors, the losses, or the past tragedies ever actually happened. The sky is blue, the local arcade is buzzing, and everyone you lost is just there, smiling and safe. It sounds like an absolute dream, especially for characters who literally haven't had a single moment of peace in years. But actually, it's the most sinister cage imaginable. A prison where the bars are constructed entirely out of your own happiness.
Section 2. Vecna's Fake Hawkins Utopia.
This illusion bubble cleanly overlays the physical town. It's not some separate dark dimension you have to travel through a gooey gate to reach. It's right on top of reality. And the absolute craziest part? It feeds trapped victims their deepest desires. It ensures total compliance. Because, let's be real, you don't need an army of monsters if your enemies are too content to fight back. It completely neutralizes all the characters as a threat. I mean, why try to kill someone when you can just make them never want to leave? It all comes down to this really chilling thought. You cannot fight a monster if your mind genuinely believes you are safe and happy. Vecna doesn't need to destroy our heroes physically if they're simply too peaceful to ever strike back. It's a terrifyingly brilliant strategy. He's weaponizing their own deep-seated trauma against them by offering this false, permanent cure. The ultimate villain move isn't ending the world. It's making you thank him for it.
Section 3. Escaping the Illusion Bubble.
So how do they get out? Well, to defeat the trap, step 1 is they have to realize the truth of the illusion. Waking up is hard enough, but the truly devastating part is step 2. They must actively choose their painful, traumatized reality over the perfect fake world. Think about the incredible emotional journeys of characters like Mike, Will, Dustin, Lucas, Max, Hopper, and Joyce. They have to willingly walk away from peace, look at the people they supposedly got back, and let them go all over again. They have to consciously embrace all their past grief just to wake up. That is an agonizing choice that requires way more bravery than fighting any physical monster. Section 4. Eleven's Absolute Sacrifice. But here's the kicker. Making that terrible choice individually isn't enough to bring down the whole structure. According to the theory, Eleven is the only anomaly in the system. She possesses the exact psychic frequency required to overload this massive containment field from the inside. Since this is a system built entirely on mind and emotion, it requires a highly specific psychic key to unlock it for everyone else, and she is that key. But triggering this system overload isn't just, flipping a switch or pushing a little harder. It requires one absolute sacrifice. 11 must expend every single ounce of her remaining power. To collapse that peaceful illusion and save everyone, she has to give up the very thing that makes her extraordinary. It's the ultimate heartbreaking cost to short-circuit a reality built by another psychic titan. And when 11 makes that sacrifice, the fake reality finally shatters. The illusion drops. It leaves all the survivors awake in the cold, brutal real world, but completely without her powers, without their primary defense. If you trade your only weapon to wake up from a dream, how on earth do you survive the nightmare that's waiting for you in reality? It's emotional stakes like this that show exactly why this show will remain one of Netflix's greatest series and leave such a massive cultural legacy. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you next time as we keep peeling back the layers of these amazing stories.